Good morning. This is Mike Houston with your Friday morning weather hazard briefing for southeast Idaho. Looking at satellite imagery this morning, we have a low pressure system down here in the lower Colorado with moisture lifting north through Utah and a disturbance here lifting northeast into Wyoming with some associated clouds and some light snowfall across at least northern Utah. Haven't seen anything in extreme southeast Idaho yet, but I wouldn't be surprised to see some light snow there this morning. A little further upstream, we have some drier conditions working south and east into the region. And then looking further upstream, we have a low pressure system working its way through British Columbia towards the northwest states, which will be impacting us here in the next day or so. Taking a little closer look at what we have here, that's that storm system that's lifting north and east into Wyoming, might be clipping the Bear Lake region with some light snowfall this morning. These blue colors right here on the satellite are indicating some low clouds, and over the last hour or so, this area of low clouds was spreading up the Snake River Plain, so we may see some low clouds filling in the Snake River Valley here this morning. We also had some very cold temperatures here across the upper Snake River Plain, along with some strong winds emptying out of these canyons, producing wind chill readings of 20 below or colder. So we do have a wind chill warning out in that region here in this light blue color. And that'll be good through this morning. As we advance to this afternoon, we see that low pressure system pushing a little further east. The model is indicating some light snow here, just clipping the Bear Lake region today. We look further upstream, we see that next storm system approaching Vancouver Island, which we've been talking about the last couple days. Daytime highs today staying well below normal. Readings in the teens to lower 20s in most places. Here we are looking at Saturday morning, that low pressure system now reaching Vancouver Island. Lots of Pacific moisture spreading in through the Pacific Northwest states with snowfall spreading through the Central Mountains after midnight tonight into Saturday morning, and the Northeast Highlands here, Island Park area towards Saturday morning. Accumulation's fairly light. I'll get into some of those here in a minute. Overnight lows, yes, cold, single digits, and some negative teen readings here across southeast Idaho. As we work into the noontime hour on Saturday, we still continue to see moisture spreading into southern Idaho. Models saying upwards of 2 to 3 inches here over the Boise Mountains, 1 to 2 inches here in the upper Snake Highlands, and even some precipitation now spreading into the valley locations here. Fairly light though. And then one more step into Saturday afternoon, 2 to 4 inches here in the Sun Valley and Sawtooth region. 2 to 4 inches here across the eastern highlands, and this low pressure system now is going to set up here and probably stick around for a few days with lots of moisture streaming in across the region. I'll show you some of those graphics here in a second. But not only will we be seeing snow on Saturday, but we're going to throw in a little wind just to make it a little more challenging. Looking at wind gusts here of 30 to 35 across the Snake River Plain, and seeing many of those types of readings here in the Central Mountains. So certainly strong enough to be pushing some snow around and causing some hazards with that. By the end of the day on Saturday, we should be seeing snow accumulations of 2 to 4 inches here in the Central Mountains and Eastern Highlands. There might be areas where we see readings of about 4 to 6 here in the Sawtooth range, but most other places generally less than an inch. So with that little bit of snow there kind of kicking things off, I'm going to run through some graphics here that'll take us through the middle of next week. But starting Saturday night, we have what looks to be a long-term winter storm system. So we do have a watch out for the Central Mountains and Eastern Highlands. I fully expect to see some of the valley locations get mixed into this with possibly some advisories as we work our way through Sunday into middle of next week. So stay tuned for that. It's just going to be a busy week. Okay, looking at Sunday's graphic, we still have that low pressure system anchored over Vancouver Island. Lots of moisture still spreading in off the Pacific right through southern Idaho. This is the 24-hour snowfall graphic, so the model is showing a foot or more of snowfall over the Sawtooth area, 8 to 10 inches here across the eastern highlands, and 1 to 2 to 3 inches here within the Snake River Plain. Get a little more detail on the stuff that we're forecasting. Indeed, upwards of a foot of snow here in the Central Mountains and eastern highlands. Might see 1 to 2 inches right through the Central Snake Plain in some of these fringe areas, 2 to 4 inches where advisories may be issued, and that will be the snow total through Sunday. Jumping ahead to Monday, we see that low pressure system still here. I've had to change the graphic from snow to just liquid precipitation, but just remember, move this decimal point one position to the right, and that'll give you a pretty good guess on what the snowfall would be. So this graphic here is saying about 15 inches in the Boise Mountains and Sawtooth region here by Monday afternoon for a 24-hour total, and somewhere between 7 and 10 inches here across the eastern highlands. Looking at our detailed accumulations for 24 hours ending Monday, again, upwards of a foot or more here in the Central Mountains, Sawtooth Range, and similar readings here across the eastern highlands. We are seeing a little more accumulation now developing in the Snake River Plain, more areas with 3 to 4 inches, and some spotty areas with 1 to 2 to 3 inches here. So probably going to see some sort of advisories going in from Sunday night into Monday for the valley locations. Yes, it keeps going. Here we are Tuesday afternoon. That low pressure system now just sort of wandering off the coast now. Lots of moisture pushing in through northern California and into southern Idaho. Another round of 15 inches here in the Central Mountains and 8 to 12 inches here in the eastern highlands according to the model, and we are seeing even more precipitation impacting the lower elevations of the eastern Magic Valley and Snake River Plain. That continues into Wednesday, seeing very little change here other than maybe just a little less in terms of precipitation. And Thursday, yes, it continues, but we do see maybe a break here as this low pressure system is beginning to get absorbed and kicked east, well, as we see another system pushing up out of the Pacific towards the northern California. So we may get a break here late in the week, but probably be back into it by next weekend. Oh, I'm exhausted. That's all I had here this morning. If you had any comments or questions, please do give us a call here at the number on the screen. Thank you.